Today I'm going to show you how to make a knotted rosary bracelet. These bracelets are also referred to as Decennario bracelets. They are rosary bracelets because they have 10 knots in them, so you can use them for a rosary as well. I'm wearing one here on my wrist, and this one was put on permanently probably about 2.5 years ago, and as you can see, I have showered with it, I've gone in the ocean with it, I've gone everywhere with it, and it's still in decent shape. It probably will not come off until I cut it off. Even if it gets soapy, it washes off, and it dries very quickly. So what you're going to do is you're going to use a number 18 nylon thread. The brand that I use is the Artiste brand that can be purchased at Hobby Lobby. It is in the crochet department, number 18 nylon thread. They have lots of different colors. You can also purchase it online from different suppliers. And you can see it's quite a thick roll, so you'll be able to make quite a number of bracelets and or rosaries with this cord. You can buy it online as well, but I like to buy this particular one because I'm familiar with the quality of it and the thickness of it. Sometimes you do get variations from different suppliers. So you're going to start with a piece of 5-foot cord, and what I do is I tape the ends of it. By doing that and making it almost like the end of a shoelace makes it nice and hard and easier to work with. You could also just cut it and burn the ends, but it's a lot easier when you have tape on the ends of it. So starting at one end, you're going to, like I said, it's a 5-foot cord, and you're going to start about 7 to 8 inches, I'm gonna say 8 inches from one edge. You're going to put in your first, what I would call Hail Mary knot. Now, if you are not familiar with making knots with these cords, I would recommend that you watch the other rosary videos on first how to make a Hail Mary knot and then how to make an Our Father knot. Once you know how to make the Hail Mary and the Our Father knots, this is a piece of cake. So I'm going to put my first Hail Mary knot, which is 3 turns, and after you watch the other videos, that'll all make sense. The first Hail Mary knot will go into place. The next Hail Mary knot is going to go just about, I would say, put about a 1/4 inch of spacing in between the knots. So once again, this is a Hail Mary knot with 3 turns. I'm going to put that in place. I'm eyeballing it now, but you can see there's about a 1/4 inch spacing in between those knots. You're going to continue until you have 10 knots that are spaced evenly apart, and it'll look about like this. Okay, so 10 knots spaced evenly apart. Once you get to that point, then we're going to make the hoop and bring it around. So you're going to make another Hail Mary knot, but this one does not need to be as close because this is gonna serve as our sliding hoop. And as far as the spacing on this, it really doesn't have to be that far. So what you wanna do is keep it on your finger after you make the knot, take the other end, the short end, and you're going to feed it through in the other direction. And that's going to kind of just sit inside. Then you're going to go back to your long cord, and you're going to continue to make your knot by gently pulling on that, making sure these don't overlap as we do with all of our knots, keeping them in a row. Okay, and somewhat tight. I mean, it doesn't have to be mega tight, but tight enough to hold that cord inside. And now you have this piece that can slide open and closed, and this is going to be how it is adjustable. So from here, what we're going to do is make the cross. So not the end that slides, but on the other end that does not slide is where we're going to continue with the cross. So for the cross, what we're going to do is we're going to make a 4-turn knot. So a Hail Mary is normally 3 and Our Father is normally 5, but we're gonna make a 4-turn knot. So just like we would a regular knot, our X, and then 3 more times around, you're going to take your far end, feed it through, just like you do with your other knots, and then put that in place. When you put that in place, you do want it to be up close by your other knot, like so, because this is going to be your cross. So you don't want your cross dangling too far down, but you also don't want it too tight. You want to get a little bit of space for it to wiggle, okay? So that's a 4-turn, and then that's going to be the top of the cross. Now we're going to make the bottom of the cross right underneath it. So we're going to do a 6-turn knot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go ahead and feed it through just like we make our regular knots. And always roll it from the back to the front, and very gently, slowly rolling so they do not overlap. And then we're going going to put this in place. And as you do this more and more, you'll become more familiar with the cords when they do overlap, what they look like, so that you can make an attempt to fix them when they don't want to behave themselves. Like this one. It's being difficult with me right now. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and put that in place. Now, when we put that in place, you want to leave literally just like a nail's length between there to make the arms of the cross. So make sure that's nice and snug as you can. And then you're going to go ahead and trim the end, but leave a little bit extra so we don't accidentally have that fall apart on us. You're going to take this extra piece and start to tie it almost as if you would a shoelace, right? So you're going to go like this and make a little loop. Then you're going to slide that right in here, in that tiny little groove we left, and tighten it in place as such. Now from here, we're going to make sure that's tight, and we're going to put in our arms of the cross. And our arms are going to be 3 on each side. We have to be very careful on this. I'm going to feed it through like this because I don't have tape on the end of that. We have to be very careful on these arms that they don't crisscross, but also that they're nice and tight. The key to this is making the cross nice and tight so that, especially if you're wearing it permanently like I did, that it doesn't get too wonky, because if it's not tight and you shower with it, it's really going to get weird. Okay, and then I'm turning to the other side, and again, 3 turns on the other side. And we will put that right in place as such. Now, some hands are stronger than others. So if you have nice, strong hands, what I do is I twist it, and then you give it a little extra pull. Okay, and then I'm going to turn around on the cross. I'm going to do that on all the sides. Some people that I know, because their hands are not that strong, will take like a jewelry tool or pliers or anything to, grab onto those and tighten them up as much as possible. You can like grab here with pliers and pull really tight if you want to. Okay, so our cross is in place. And then the other cord, remember the one that's sliding, what we want to do is put a knot on one end so that it doesn't slide completely open. And so by doing that, we're going to put our hand in here, and here's what I recommend you do. Kind of open your hand like that so that you can see like how big you actually want it. You can eyeball it and say, okay, I want the knot right around here. So you're going to have to pull this a little bit to give yourself working room. And again, you can eyeball it, you can measure it, whatever works for you. But you're going to do just a 2-turn knot is fine. It's just going to be as a stopper. You can do 2-turn, 3-turn, whatever makes you happy. And you just put that knot in place. And now we're pretty much done. All we need to do is cut and burn. So on this black cord, the beauty of working with black is that when it burns, you don't have to worry about it turning black because it's already black. And you just need to leave maybe 1/4 inch for burning. And we're going to do the same thing with all the ends of the cross, leaving just about 1/4 inch all the way around and such. And then I would use a candle. You can use a candle or a lighter, but I found it's a lot easier to use a candle, especially when I'm doing a lot of these. And starting with the cross, very carefully, do not burn your fingers. And if it stays burning, you might have to blow it out so that it stops burning it when you want it to stop. You want to make sure when you burn it that you get like that little bit of mushroom on the end where it almost is like a cap when it burns. That will keep it from falling apart. Some people make the mistake of just barely burning it, just so it stops to fray, but it's not enough and then it falls apart, and that's sad because then you don't have your bracelet anymore. Okay, and so this is the finished bracelet. You have this cord that opens and closes, and this is how you would put your bracelet on. You see why I said you want to open up your hand so you can see. You can fit your hand through there. So obviously, if you're making them for young children, you can make them smaller. If you're making them for men, you can make them larger, whatever makes you happy. But you can put it on, and then once you have it on, you just hold it across, you tighten it in place. So that is your bracelet. Now, you can leave it with the cord dangling, and then it'll be adjustable. You can take it on and off. If you would rather have it on permanently, like I do, because I don't like taking mine on and off, what you would do is just tie a single knot right about here. Not super tight, but a little snug, because after you shower with it, it will stretch just a little bit. So I would tie a single knot and then trim it 1/4 inch and burn it in place. Obviously have somebody else do that for you so you don't burn yourself. And then once it's in place, it'll stay there. I have no idea how long. The last one I think I had on 3 or 4 years, and I cut it off and started over. You can also turn these into anklets. So I've seen people do that and wear them on their ankles as well. Same thing, you can leave them adjustable or make them permanent on the ankle. So as I mentioned, Hobby Lobby and other sources online have a variety of colors to work with, but these are quite popular, easy to make, easy gifts to give, especially fun if you have like a group and you want to gift something to the group. So hope you enjoy.